I'd transferred $3,800 at 2:47 a.m. on a Tuesday in November. That was everything. Not everything I owned, everything I had access to. My checking account had $87 left after the transfer. My credit card was maxed. I had $12 in cash in my wallet. I sat there, staring at the confirmation screen, waiting for the panic to hit. It didn't come right away. What came first was this weird calm, like I'd already fallen and was just waiting to hit the ground. About 4 hours later, when the sun came up and I realized what I'd actually done. But first, let me tell you how it all started. 6 months earlier, I'd lost my job. Not dramatically. The company was downsizing. I was one of 11 people let go in a single Zoom call. HR was apologetic but efficient. Severance was 2 weeks. Health insurance ended the following month. I was 29. I had $11,000 in savings and no immediate backup plan. For the first month, I convinced myself this was an opportunity. Time to figure out what I actually wanted to do. Time to apply to better positions. Time to rest. By month 2, the savings were at $8,000. Rent was $1,350. I was applying to everything. Jobs I was overqualified for, underqualified for, adjacent to my field, nowhere near it. I got 3 interviews. 2 ghosted me after the second round. 1 sent a rejection email so generic I wondered if they'd sent it to the right person. Month 3, savings hit $5,200. I stopped buying anything that wasn't food or rent. I canceled subscriptions. I stopped going out. I ate a lot of pasta. Month 4, $2,400 left. I started getting scared. Not the productive kind of scared that makes you work harder, the paralyzed kind. The kind where you spend 2 hours staring at job listings without applying to any of them because you're convinced they'll all say no anyway. By month 5, I had $800 in my account, and rent was due in 9 days. That's when my friend Josh called. Josh and I had worked together at my old job. He'd been laid off in the same round, but Josh had landed on his feet. Within 3 weeks, he had a new position, better pay, better title. When he called that October evening, he sounded different. Not excited exactly, but energized. "I need to tell you about something," he said. I was sitting in my apartment with the lights off because I was trying to save on electricity. He started talking about crypto. Not Bitcoin. Everyone knew about Bitcoin. Something else, smaller, newer, something that had actual utility and was about to break out. I'm not going to say which one. It doesn't matter, and I'm not here to give anyone ideas. But Josh made it sound possible. He'd put in $2,000 2 months earlier, and now it was worth $7,400. "I'm not saying you should," he said. "I'm just saying if you're in a tight spot, this might be a way out." I asked him what he meant by tight spot. He said, "I know you got laid off the same time I did, and I know you haven't found anything yet, so I'm guessing things are probably getting stressful." He wasn't wrong, but I wasn't going to admit it. "I'm fine," I said. "I've got some savings. I'm just being selective about what I apply to." "Okay," he said, "but if you're interested, I can send you the info." He sent it anyway. I didn't open it that night. 3 days later, rent was due, and I had $843 in my account. I borrowed $600 from my brother, told him it was temporary, told him I had a couple of promising leads, told him I'd pay him back by the end of the month. He didn't ask questions. He just sent the money. That night, I opened Josh's message. It was a link to a website, a white paper PDF, and a note, "Don't put in more than you can afford to lose." That phrase haunted me. More than you can afford to lose. What does that even mean when you're already at the bottom? I started researching, not just the thing Josh mentioned, everything. I spent hours reading forums, watching videos, trying to understand what any of this actually meant. Most of it sounded like people trying to convince themselves they hadn't made a mistake, but some of it sounded real. There were people who'd gotten out of debt, people who'd paid off student loans, People who'd bought themselves 6 months of breathing room. I wasn't looking to get rich. I was looking for a way to not be evicted. By the end of the week, I'd made a decision. Not a confident one, a desperate one. I had $1,200 left after paying rent. My brother had covered $600 of it, so really I had $1,800 between borrowed money and what was left. I also had a credit card with a $2,000 limit and $300 already on it. That left $1,700 in available credit. If I maxed it out and combined it with what I had in my account, I could put in $3,500. Enough to matter if it went up. Enough to destroy me if it went down. I didn't do it right away. I spent 3 more days thinking about it, which is a generous way of saying I spent 3 more days trying to talk myself out of it while slowly convincing myself to do it anyway. I made a pros and cons list. Pros: if it goes up, I can pay rent for months. I can pay my brother back. I can breathe. Cons: if it goes down, I'm broke and in debt and have no backup plan. The list didn't help. So I tried a different approach. I asked myself, what happens if I don't do this? The answer was clear. I'd run out of money in 2 weeks. I'd have to move home with my parents. I'd have to explain to everyone that I failed. I'd spend the next year rebuilding from zero while living in my childhood bedroom. That felt unbearable. So I asked myself, what happens if I do this and it fails? The answer was the same. I'd run out of money, I'd move home, I'd rebuild from zero. But at least I'd have tried something. That was the logic, anyway. The logic of someone who'd stopped thinking clearly because the only thing worse than risk was doing nothing. On November 9th at 2:47 a.m., I made the transfer. $1,200 from my checking account, $2,000 cash advance for my credit card, deposited into checking, then transferred immediately. Total, $3,800. The entire process took 11 minutes. When it was done, I closed my laptop and sat in the dark. I didn't feel relief. I didn't feel excitement. I felt sick. The first 3 days were a blur. I checked the price every 20 minutes, sometimes more. It went up 4%, then down 6%, then up 3%, then down 8%. Every red number felt like confirmation that I'd made the worst mistake of my life. I couldn't sleep. I'd wake up at 3 a.m. and immediately check my phone. Sometimes it was up, sometimes it was down. Either way, I couldn't fall back asleep. I stopped answering calls. I stopped replying to texts. I couldn't talk to anyone because I couldn't admit what I'd done. My brother sent me a message. Hey, just checking in. You doing okay? I replied, yeah, all good. Just busy with job stuff. Lie. Josh texted, did you end up putting anything in? I didn't reply. Because if I told him yes and it crashed, I'd have to admit I'd ruined my life on his suggestion. And if I told him yes and it went up, I'd have to explain why I'd risked everything when he'd specifically told me not to. By day 5, I was down 11%. That meant my $3,800 was now worth $3,382. I'd lost $418 in less than a week. I felt like I was going to throw up. On day 8, something changed. Not with the price, with me. I woke up, checked my phone out of habit, and saw that I was down 14% overall. And I just didn't react. Not because I'd accepted it, but because I was too exhausted to keep panicking. I realized I'd been living in a state of constant crisis for 8 days straight, and it hadn't changed anything. The number went up and down whether I watched it or not. So I stopped watching. Not completely, but I limited myself to checking once in the morning and once at night. It didn't make the anxiety go away, but it made it manageable. I started applying to jobs again, not with hope, just with routine, because I needed something to do that wasn't staring at a price chart. 2 weeks in, I got a call back, a marketing coordinator position. Decent pay, not great, but enough to survive. They wanted a second interview. I said yes. That night, I checked the price for the first time in 6 hours. I was up 9% from where I'd started. My $3,800 was now worth $4,142. I'd made $342. It wasn't life-changing, but it was something. For the first time since I'd made the transfer, I felt like maybe I hadn't completely destroyed my life. 3 weeks in, I was up 28%. My $3,800 was worth $4,864. I could have pulled it out, paid my brother back, had a little cushion, waited for the job to come through. But I didn't, because 28% felt like proof that I'd been right, that I'd seen something others hadn't, that maybe, just maybe, this could be the thing that fixed everything. Josh texted me, "You see what's happening? I told you." I replied, "Yeah, I'm in." He sent back a thumbs up. I should have sold. I know that now, but in the moment, selling felt like giving up right before the win, like walking out of a movie 10 minutes before the ending. 4 weeks in, I was up 41%. My $3,800 was worth $5,358. The second interview went well. They said they'd have a decision by the end of the week. Everything felt like it was aligning. I started imagining what I'd do with the money. Pay my brother back first, obviously, then build a small emergency fund. Maybe even buy myself something nice. Not expensive, just something that felt like a reward. On December 2nd, I got the job offer. Salary, $58,000. Start date, December 16th. I called my brother and told him I'd pay him back by the end of the month. He said, "No rush, I'm just glad you're okay." I wasn't okay, but I was getting there. That night, I checked the price one more time. I was up 46%. My $3,800 was worth $5,558. I decided I'd sell the next morning. I woke up to 17 missed calls. 3 from Josh, 8 from numbers I didn't recognize, 6 from a group chat I'd muted months ago. My stomach dropped before I even looked at the price. It had crashed, not dipped, crashed, down 62% from the peak. My $5,558 was now worth $2,108. I'd lost $1,692 from my original investment. I sat on the edge of my bed and stared at the number. Josh called again. I answered. "Are you seeing this?" he said. "Yeah." "I sold yesterday. I'm sorry, man. I should have told you to get out." I didn't say anything. "How much are you down?" he asked. I hung up. I spent the next hour refreshing the page, hoping it was a glitch, hoping it would correct itself. It didn't. By noon, it was down another 18%. My $2,108 was now worth $1,729. I'd lost more than half of what I'd put in. I closed the app. I didn't check it for 3 days. When I finally looked again, it had dropped another 11%. My $3,800 was now worth $1,539. I'd lost $2,261. That was it. It was over. I sold everything. After fees, I got $1,487 deposited back into my account. I'd gambled $3,800 of my last money and walked away with $1,487, a loss of $2,313. I started the new job 2 weeks later. The first paycheck covered rent. The second one I sent to my brother. Not the full $600, just $200, with a promise to send the rest over the next 2 months. He didn't ask what happened. He didn't ask where the money went. Maybe he knew, maybe he didn't. I never told him. I never told Josh either. He texted me a few times after the crash, asked how I was doing. I replied with vague positives. Eventually, he stopped asking. I rebuilt my savings slowly, $100 a month, then $200. By the following summer, I had $2,400 saved. Not where I'd started, but better than where I'd been. I think about that night a lot. November 9th, 2:47 a.m. sitting in the dark, transferring everything I had into something I didn't understand, hoping it would save me. I don't regret it because regret implies I had better options. I didn't. I was desperate, and desperation makes you do things you'd never do otherwise. People say don't invest what you can't afford to lose. But what they don't tell you is that when you can't afford to lose anything, you start thinking maybe you can't afford not to risk it. That's the trap. Not greed, not stupidity. Desperation. The belief that the only thing worse than losing everything is staying where you are. I don't know if I made the right choice. I only know it was the only choice I could see at the time. And maybe that's the scariest part. Not that I lost the money, but that if I went back to that moment, I'd probably do it again. Because the truth is, when you're at the bottom, the fall doesn't scare you. It's the staying there that does.